A Moncton court this morning for a ruling in a precedent-setting case against the RCMP. A judge will decide whether the force failed to protect officers targeted in a gun rampage. 3 Mounties were killed, 2 others wounded in the attack on the night of June 4th, 2014. The RCMP is accused of not giving its officers the equipment and training they needed. And as Gabrielle Fami reports, this is the first time the force has faced that accusation in a court trial.
It's a night Mounties tried hard to put behind them, but when they had to relive through weeks of excruciating testimony. During the trial, officer after officer walked into the witness box to explain, often through tears, just how a carbine rifle would have taken down Justin Bourque, perhaps saving the life of at least one of their fellow officers. But then, the RCMP's former top boss made a surprise appearance and refuted all their statements.
Well, I'm the accused. I represent the RCMP. And
Bob Paulson, testifying in front of a court of law, he didn't believe bigger guns for all officers should be part of policing, at least not in Canada. For Brian Sauvé, sergeant and co-chair of the National Police Federation, a not guilty ruling would be a sad state of affairs for the members and the families who live with this tragedy.
Not guilty verdict was going to basically say, you know what, the RCMP can run ramshod over its employees without due regard to health and safety.
And though the force has since acted on recommendations and trained its frontline members to use carbines, lawyers have insisted this wasn't an admission of guilt on the RCMP's part. This is the first time the National Police Force has gone on trial for failing to protect its members. Whatever the outcome, this case will set an important precedent for all police forces.
You have to understand, the RCMP were always perceived to be untouchables. They were always perceived to be the police of the country, and they had always a good reputation. By having this type of story, it says maybe you guys have not been diligent in how you've been applying the standards of safety to your employees, to the police officers.
The RCMP is accused of failing to properly train and equip its officers and failing to give them the supervision they needed to deal with a heavily armed shooter. 4 charges in all that are all violations of the labor code. The penalty, $1 million per charge if guilty. Gabrielle Fami, CBC News, Moncton.